Imagine winning an Oscar while hiding who you really love. That's what happened to some of Hollywood's most famous faces. One star lived with his male partner for 12 years in a beachside mansion. Everyone thought they were just roommates. Another was caught kissing a man in public and sued a comedian for joking about it. Even one actor invented 3 dead wives and a dead son just to hide the truth. But death has a way of revealing everything. Hospital records, wills, and deathbed confessions finally exposed what millions never knew. Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson was born Roy Harold Scherer Jr. on November 17, 1925 in Wetka, Illinois. His father walked out during the Great Depression when Roy was just 4, leaving behind a broken home and a boy desperate to feel loved. That pain followed him for the rest of his life. He didn't just want fame, he needed it to feel like he mattered. So, he became Rock Hudson, but not without paying a heavy price. He even went so far as to have his voice surgically lowered. It ruined his singing forever. At 6 feet 5 inches, he looked like the perfect movie star, but deep inside, he was terrified. He was hiding a part of himself that the world wasn't ready to see. In 1955, his agent, Henry Wilson, staged one of the most cold-hearted publicity moves in Hollywood history, a fake marriage to his own secretary, Phyllis Gates. The plan was simple: silence the rumors that Hudson was gay. The marriage lasted exactly 3 years. Privately, Hudson continued living his truth. Publicly, he smiled for cameras and played the role of America's most eligible bachelor. Then came June 1984. A small lesion on his neck changed everything. It was Kaposi seroma, a clear sign of AIDS. Hudson told people it was anorexia. He tried to hide it, but soon he made the decision that no other major star had dared to make. On July 25, 1985, he went public. He became the first big-name celebrity to say it out loud. He had AIDS. The aftermath was brutal. He wrote anonymous letters to 4 men he had been intimate with. One of them, a 22-year-old, tested positive the very next day. Hudson died on October 2, 1985 at just 59. But before he left, he broke the silence that had kept so many trapped in fear. His confession shook the world and changed how people talked about AIDS and homosexuality forever. Raymond Burr. Raymond Burr had a different kind of secret. Born on May 21, 1917 in British Columbia, he would become famous as the unshakable Perry Mason. But off-screen, he was crafting a lie more complicated than anything on television. He claimed to have been married 3 times. He said one wife died in a plane crash and another from cancer. He even said he had a 10-year-old son who died of leukemia. But none of it was true. There were no wives, no son, just a long list of made-up tragedies that made people feel sorry for him. In 1961, the FBI got involved. The American Bar Association had files describing Burr as a noted sex deviant. That's when Burr invented yet another fake wife named Laura Andrina Morgan, also conveniently dead of cancer. The only real marriage he ever had was to actress Isabella Ward in 1948. It ended quickly, and she later said she never heard a single word about his supposed wives or his son. But the truth wasn't ugly. It was quiet and deeply human. In 1960, Burr met Robert Benz on the set of Perry Mason. Benvitz was 17 years younger and a Korean War veteran. What started as a friendship turned into a partnership that lasted 33 years. They bought a vineyard, ran an orchid nursery, and built a quiet life together in California's Dry Creek Valley. Burr never said it out loud in public, but behind closed doors, he called Robert his husband. They had a 40-acre ranch in Soma County and even a private island in Fiji where they could just be themselves. No lies, no scripts, no cameras. When Burr died of liver cancer on September 12, 1993, at age 76, Robert was right there beside him. And in one final act of honesty, Burr left his entire $32 million estate to the man he loved. It was his way of telling the world at last the truth he never could. While he was alive, Cary Grant Carrie. Grant was the picture of elegance. Charming smile, polished accent, always. Dressed sharp. But behind the Hollywood image was a secret that insiders whispered about for years. From 1932 to around 1944, he shared a home with another actor, Randolph Scott. Not just any home, a 5,530 FT beachside chateau once built for silent film star Norma Talmadge. The two lived together on and off for over a decade, and their arrangement became one of the most talked about mysteries in Hollywood. They weren't just splitting rent. People close to them described something much deeper. Actor Richard Blackwell said they were madly in love. A celebrity photographer claimed to have slept with both men, and a notorious Hollywood pimp, Scotty Bowers, said he personally arranged encounters for them. But the most shocking part came years later. In the 1970s, Grant supposedly told a friend that meeting Scott felt like love at first sight. He even described his own sexuality as something that shifted over time. Homosexual when young, bisexual in his adult years, and heterosexual later on. He compared it to acting, saying it would be limiting to only ever play one kind of role. Grant wasn't just the subject of rumors. Biographers say he and Scott were once caught kissing in public, and some claim they secretly got married in Mexico. All four of Grant's ex-wives reportedly accused him of being gay, and when comedian Chevy Chase joked about it on television in 1980, Grant sued him. Ramon Novarro. Ramon Novarro was born in Mexico in 1899 and became a silent film legend. At his peak, he was earning over $100,000 per movie. In Ben-Hur, 1925, his barely their costumes made headlines. MGM even gave him a $10,000 raise just from reading his fan mail. Inside Hollywood, many knew Novarro was gay, but he lived in fear. He was deeply religious, and his Catholic faith made him feel torn. Studio boss Louis B. Mayer tried to force him into a fake marriage to hide the truth. Novarro refused. Not long after, MGM dropped him. He had real relationships with composer Harry Parch, writer Herbert Howe, and a wealthy man named Noel Sullivan. But behind closed doors, he struggled. The pressure and shame drove him to alcohol. Then came the horror. On October 30th, 1968, two brothers, Paul and Tom Ferguson, aged just 22 and 17, visited his house. They'd heard rumors. He kept thousands hidden in his home. They tied him up, beat him, and tortured him, trying to find the money. There was none. They left with just $20 they found in his robe. Navarro, aged 69, died, choking on his own blood. That night, the truth about his life spilled into the headlines. His murder didn't just shock Hollywood.